Hello, and welcome to another riveting episode of Swarmstead Reacts to a Video. Today, I'm going to be reacting to a video at the request of the person from the channel that made the video. Um, it was just released yesterday from the time of this video being made. Um, I could have waited a few days or a week or so, but I thought there's some things in the video which we'll see later on that make it kind of urgent that I could go over this video quickly. It's a video of Tim from Ridge Life attempting to do or doing a removal from a tree, from a feral colony, trying to what they call forced abscond, force them to abscond from the tree. So my background in this is that I've done a few forced absconds. Um, Never one like this one. I've done a few from cutouts that I was kind of almost finished with. Couldn't get all the bees out. Gotten them out of spools, logs, different things, but not this kind. Um, we're just gonna get into playing the video. I'm not gonna play the entire thing. Hopefully you can watch it or you watched it before this. Um, this is a buddy of mine, so I'm not going to be really terrible. But let me first say that the good thing is what I like to see is that somebody going out there and getting into the bees, really just doing other stuff with bees, trying to do removals, just doing something, getting in there, not always just being in the boxes and packages and nukes. So so that's the good thing. And then the other thing is forced absconds are not easy at all. Um, Especially from a tree, from a big tree. Um, but you're always going to learn from your mistakes. And in this video, there's a lot to learn from in this one here. But we're going to watch a little bit of it, and I'll keep cutting out and, giving my little reaction to it. So let's start at the beginning.
Out for a bee adventure. We have got a call to save a wild colony of bees. There are some bees out in a super large oak tree in a friend of mine's front yard, and this old tree has got to come down. It's a danger to the family and to the house. And this tree is at least 100 years old, probably 3 foot in diameter at the base, and a wild colony of honeybees is taken up inside a knot hole inside this tree. It's been there a couple years.
All right, so hopefully the sound is coming through good here. I think it's kind of important to kind of touch on it. I mean, at the beginning, this is going to probably be a long live, but if it's interesting to you, that's great. If not, that's also great. But I thought I'd touch on the ethics, kind of, maybe not ethics isn't the right word, but the ethics of removing bees from a tree or feral bees from anything where they're really just not bothering somebody. Now, I don't know the entirety of this situation. Um, Tim, the guy there that you saw, he said it's a friend of his. It's in a friend of his yard. And you'll see in a minute, it's a humongous tree, standing pretty straight, very sturdy looking tree. I'm not sure what the danger was of it, but um, I'm not saying there's no danger. There's some branches that could have fell. I mean, it wasn't a leaner, it wasn't ready to come down. But what I like to do, if this was me in this situation, and this was a friend of mine, I would try to use my persuasive expertise to get these people to please don't chop down that whole tree. Just take down everything except for the trunk. Leave it there. Just try to talk. There's many ways you can finesse somebody into not cutting down a tree, at least for a little while. This tree could have been a source of 3 or 4 swarms at least in the spring. You could have had them genetics in your yard. Could have put a swarm trap there. You could have really got these bees out the easy way at first, and then later on, if it has to come down, it comes down. And I'm talking about just a little bit of time, a month or two. If it's been there a few years, as he said, I wouldn't have seen the rush. I might have just really tried to talk to him. I think it kind of possibly might have just been, I want to get this video, I want to do a video and do it and kind of I know how it is. You get a situation, you want to get in there and make a cool video. And, I like to just put the bees over the content a little bit. But again, I don't know the entirety of the situation. The other thing is, it looked like the entrance was facing away from the house. It's up high. I doubt there was people worried about getting stung. People call, they want them bees gone yesterday, even though they've been there a couple of years. But a couple of things to think about. First off, try to put it off. Try to talk your way into having a source of bees out of that thing before you do anything. And yeah, just try that. And, if it's an hour or two away, that becomes a pain in the butt. You don't want to keep driving 2 hours to go get a swarm. But depending on how close it is another thing to take into consideration. So a couple things I was just thinking while I was watching that part. Let's play a little more here. Let me put this up.
And they're getting ready to take this tree down, and we've got to go there and save these bees. So we're going to try a couple things today. We're going to try what's called a forced abscond. We're going to try to smoke the bees out. If we can get the queen, put her in a box, the rest will follow. And then, depending on whether that works or not, we're going to do a cutout. We're going to try to cut the knot hole out there and see if we can harvest as much of the brood and honey as we can, get that for this new colony as we take it back to the ridge. So wish us luck. We have made it to the location, and you can see there are thousands of bees in this tree. This is a huge tree. It's at least 4 or 5 feet in diameter here at the base. Bigger than I thought it was going to be.
All right, so I'm just going to pause it here for a minute. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. For the next few minutes, Tim's just showing some of the stuff he brought along and just kind of talking a little bit. But let me just see these comments really quick. I won't be addressing too many comments, just because this is just kind of, I just want to stay focused on this, but keep commenting and I'll look them over. Let me skip forward a little bit here. Those pro nukes I'd throw right in a dumpster. Can't stand them. All right, so let's play this. Let's see where we're at. Oh, okay, there's that.
Beautiful bees bringing in the pollen. We're going to do our best here to save as many of these so we can flush that queen out with, again, a forced abscond. I'm going to drill a hole right in here, see if I can.
All right, so let me pause right there. I'm going to be just going in and out of this one. Now, that little hole on that tree is a almost perfect setup to do a trap out. Trap outs can be a pain in the butt too. They take a while. And if it's far away, it's a real pain. But a trap out was definitely an option. If you could talk the people into letting them swarm a couple times and then trapping them out, that would have been even better. So the first thing I noticed was just how perfect that little entrance and exit hole was. Could have been a trap out, just saying, at the beginning. And Tim's definitely capable of putting a trap out cone on there and strapping a box up there. Yeah, look into trapping out something like this if you can in the future. Let me see. Let it play a little bit more.
Get up into that cavity and pump that with smoke and see if that queen will come out. That's a lot thicker than I thought it was. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to get to the cavity. So we'll see if there's a cavity I'll drill right down here. We can get into the cavity.
All right, so here we go. Whenever you're wanting to force some bees to abscond from something, the key and the goal is to get as far to the opposite side of the entrance as possible, in the back or the bottom. You know, as far on the opposite side and as far down as you can. If you were in this case, Tim kind of drills just a few inches away from the hole, and I could tell right away it was just going to cause this little funneling of smoke, just kind of swirling right around at the entrance. But let's see what happens here.
I'll be able to get the smoke up in there. If not, I may just have to get the chainsaw and cut a little chunk out right here.
All right, so I'm going to move this along. So there you can see the smoke is just going right in and coming right out the hole. It's making some bees leave. Okay. Okay, it's making some bees leave there. But let me just show you. Another thing you never want to do if you're trying to get bees to abscond from something is you never want to smoke the hole that you're trying to get them to come out of, because they're trying to come out that hole. You don't want to put smoke down in that hole. You're getting them running right back in. Yeah, so that's a big thing. Doing it this way, you might end up actually just kind of smothering them, because they're all going to try to go down and back, and some are going to get out the hole, but a lot of them are just going to get smoked to death. So yeah, just don't ever smoke in the entrance, in the hole you're trying to get these bees to come out of. You want them all going one direction. And also another thing is for forcing bees to abscond. I hate saying that word, abscond. You want to use some Bee Quick or Bee Go or some type of bee repellent. Works really good if you can get that in there first, in the back, way behind the colony, and then just get that back there, get them moving up, and then you start going in with the smoke, a little heavier and heavier, but always in the back, never at the entrance. Let me move this forward a little bit. It's kind of just a lot of smoke in here.
Come on, Queen, come on. Let me see you. Man, look at all the small hive beetles coming out. They're small hive beetles. They're a pest. All kinds of them in here. Queen's got to be coming out in a second.
Sorry, that part always cracked me up. Sorry, I'm not laughing at them. I'm just the only reason that it was funny is because I've been here, I've been there doing that same thing. I was so ambitious, like, yeah, I'm gonna just pump this. Queen's coming out any minute. That queen ain't coming out, man. It's hard to get that thing out of there. I mean, you got to do everything perfectly. It works really well in a colony that's only been there a few weeks or less. But once they've been there a year or two and they got that thing all filled up, and especially just pumping so close to the entrance, yeah, that thing ain't coming out of there. So, but hey, you're still out there doing it, so you at least you're trying. All right, I'm gonna scoot this up a little bit. I don't know how well this is all coming through. My computer is kind of lagging a little bit. All right, he's got some music going on there. Let me get that off of there. Um, all right, what's he talking about? Yeah, just more music, just still pumping away at it. All right. I was looking for the queen. What happens a lot with these, at least the times I've done it, is they'll group up a little bit there, but a lot of times they'll just fly right the hell away. The whole thing will just they'll take off and just go up to another tree and hang there. That's when you're pretty sure you got the queen out of there. Um, let me skip through this thing a little bit. I don't want to play the whole thing. You got to go over there and watch it. Let's play this. All right, I'm gonna just go ahead. I mean, I don't want to just play the whole video, but I'm gonna skip towards the end to the part that I saw was the most concerning. Um, so hopefully everybody will, you know, learn a couple things. Hold on, let me keep moving it. I'll play a little bit here. All right, so he's reaching in there, gonna pull out some comb. All them bees on his head. Looks like the queen's probably on his head. Okay, now that all that honey dripping and getting the combs all sticky, just kind of just ripping it out of there.
Trying to figure they had that big of a hollow in there. It is. It is huge. It goes down.
Now, here's what I predict is going to happen now to that tree. All that honey dripping down in there, all that, it's gonna actually probably cause a beetle explosion in that tree or robbing. They'll probably end up absconding, possibly in a few days after that all after they settle down a little bit. Um, but yeah, again, I would just say, man, try to get them to let that tree alone for just a month or two. Get a couple swarms out of it. All right, let me skip ahead. All right, this is for me. This is like the most concerning part of this thing. Um, but I don't know if Tim's done removals before, like cutouts. So for anyone who's never done a cutout before, at least in my area, you almost never want to save comb, old comb like that. You only want to save like the most perfect sheets of brood comb that you can. You never want to frame up any honey at all here. It's just gonna, you're gonna just get start robbing, and you're gonna let a bunch of beetles loose. And when the comb is all mangled up like that, all just squished with honey all over it, and larvae all squashed and torn apart, you definitely never want to put that into a hive, or try to band it up. It's just gonna. I would be amazed. Well, actually, there's no way they're gonna put that together. I think they're gonna ignore that comb. I don't think they'll clean it up. It's probably gonna release a ton of hive beetle larvae and just all kinds of junk in there. It's just gonna cause a problem. I wouldn't have gave that to the bees. So in the future, in a cutout, if you're able to get in there and cut out nice big pieces of comb that are not too old, and you also have to have plenty of bees to cover those combs. You can't give them too much. It's just gonna explode in beetles and all kinds of junk. Oof. All right, so yeah, there he just kind of spends a minute just kind of quickly, very quickly piecing it together and putting rubber bands around it. Yeah, that comb, definitely never put comb in a cutout like that. I may have already said that a couple times. I'm going to skip forward a little bit. Let's see.
And got it framed up. Pretty messy. I know you don't want to have your frames messy like that, but we'll get them home, get them all consolidated into one big box, 8 frame deep. Get them fed, close them up, and see if they can rear a queen if I didn't get the queen. So we'll see then. We are back at the ridge, and it is getting dark. I got the truck lights shined on me. I got to get these bees in.
All right, so now I don't know if I'm going to play this whole part, but basically just transfers them into this 8 frame box. There's not a whole ton of bees in there. There's definitely not enough for an 8 frame box, but that's not the part that's really worrisome. The worrisome part, I think he says that if they can't raise a queen, he'll combine them with the other hive. That I would definitely not do that. I would be really careful doing that. If it's just a bunch of workers in there and that mangled up comb, you're just going to be dumping a beetle bomb on top of that hive if you were to do that. So I would definitely not suggest doing that. But let me just make sure that's even what happens.
A brood. So cross our fingers. This one can survive. If it doesn't, we'll combine. We'll check back. I've got tons of honey and comb we pulled out of that colony in that tree. I'm going to save that. I'm going to open feed it later, about 200 yards from the bees here, and you'll get to see that hopefully very, very soon. But let's get these bees in here before it gets too cold and we get chill brood. Second. It's nighttime. They're ready to get in and be done with it. See, we got lots of bees right there. That right there. They'll all combine. They're from the same colony. They know where they go. There we go.
All right, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and pop out of that. Yeah, to recap, I would say, like I said at the beginning, first of all, hats off for getting out there and getting in the bees in some other way besides a box. At least you tried that. You got to try. You can't do everything perfect the first time. You're going to screw up. I still screw up all the time. But yeah, so definitely for forcing bees to abscond, it's tough to do on an old colony. That would have been much better to do as a trap out, or just to put a couple swarm traps right around there. And if it wasn't far away, like I know where all my trees are that have bees in them. All the people that I talked into leaving those trees there, begging them, just leave them there, please. Some of them been there 7 years now since they called me, and they're still spitting swarms out. So they'll just come out in the yard every day, and if there's something hanging there, they'll call you up. But yeah, don't try not to cut into the tree. If you do, for that one, that's a tough one though. That's a big ass tree. So I would probably just wait till they took all the pieces off and then just lay that big log down and cut it open and take them out. Um, you know, it looked like it was a lot of work. There was a lot of time spent there. Um, you know, if it was my friend, especially if this wasn't my friend, I'm not gonna let them have me there doing all that work for all those hours for nothing. So just keep that in mind too before you spend a lot of time just frustrating yourself trying to get bees out of a tree. Um, Let me see if there's any comments in here, but keep at it. And also, for anybody watching this, I'm not the expert bee remover by any means, but if you ever do get a call about something and you're not exactly sure what to do, you can always bounce it off me. I can at least try to steer you in a little bit the right direction. Just let me know a little bit ahead of time. Could save you a ton of time and headache. And because ultimately this whole removal here basically just ended Tim up with about a quarter pound or half a pound of workers and a beetle bomb frame full of comb. So it might have been better off to do nothing at all than to bring that back. So let's see. I'll look at the comments now, see who we have in here. I've only been on here 27 minutes. Bill says it's hard to watch. Won't take those jobs. Yeah. Yeah, I love taking the whole tree trunk. That tree there would have been the biggest one that's bigger than all the ones I have. This is an oak, it's probably even heavier. Winnie the Pooh removal. Yeah. Yeah, it's easier when you drop the whole tree. Even when you drop the tree, it's definitely not easy. Those trees, the inside of the trees isn't like the inside of a barn. It's all crooked and jaggy. All right, so let me get rid of this comment on here. All right, well that was my reaction reaction to the video Tim made. He asked me to do it, and it's no big deal. If anybody sees bee videos on here, something interesting or something just crazy, let me know. Send me the link. I'm not the king. I mean, I'm the PA Swarm King, but I'm not the king of all bee removals and the knower of everything. But I know a little bit, so I can give some input on it. And if I just really don't like them, then I'll grind them up really hard. But if it's an average person just trying to get in there with the bees, I can be nice. I can be nice, Bruce. All right. So thanks for joining me and playing along here. Hope this helps somebody out that goes on a exciting bee removal. Oh, this is my new shirt in case anybody likes it. All right, I'm signing off. Take care, everyone.